Hello out there. How you guys doing? This is Ariel Jillian. I'm still getting used to doing lives, so bear with me. But I pray everyone's having a wonderful day. Today I have a subject called An Ode to Following God. So if you haven't noticed, we are in some crazy times right now in America. Um, Massive inflation, just wars everywhere. America is just, there's a lot going on in the country. And I feel like at this point in time, it's becoming very clear what side people are on. Um, are you on God's side or are you not? And what I want to talk about today is following God and following what He has for your life. Um, because if you were really on God's side right now, this is actually the best time to be on earth right now. Like, I'm actually, I love my life right now. And I'm just so, so thankful to God for everything that I have because it's given me everything that I've ever wanted and more. And it's because I followed Him in my life. And so I want to talk about following God today because I don't think the way I see it is, you know, it's a little different because I feel like, my path wasn't a traditional path in life. But I feel like for most of my life, I really followed God very, very closely. Yeah. So I guess I just have like some analogies or whatever about following God. And I want to start with, you know, gifts as well. Because at an early age, I always knew there were certain things I gravitated towards. One of them was creativity, right? I'm an artist, but another one of it was just teaching and education. And I love teaching at a very, very early age. I skipped second grade because like my teacher saw that I was actually helping the kids next to me when I was in first grade. So, it's just something that I've always loved doing. No, connection lost. Reconnecting. Okay, hopefully we're back on. But yeah, so at an early age, I love teaching. And so early on in my age, my God really had me leave home. So following God, you know, it- He may ask you to move, or do something you've never done before, or take this leap of faith and do something completely different from what you were classically trained in. And you have to just know the instincts where God tells you, like, when it's time to move, it's time to move. It's time to go somewhere. So, and that can be scary, but I left home at 17 and went to college and I never turned back. And that can be scary, but I always knew like I had such a strong foundation in God in a young age that you know it was like, there's nothing back home to go towards, so I might as well follow God and, go after everything that I feel like I could do. So, following God led me into, teaching in rural Birmingham, Alabama. And, teaching was probably the most fulfilling job I've ever had, which is why, I'm podcasting right now because, I just love teaching. I love reaching people and educating people on, what I know, the things that I do know. So, um, but that was me following God at a young age to go towards something that He led me in. um and during my life there were parts where I felt like I did not follow God or I was mad at God. And one thing about following God is like it's it's really just having faith that His plan for you is better than whatever you can decide for your life. It's like letting go of control of your life. And that can be hard because we feel, sometimes we just feel like we know everything and, we know what we would love to do. But sometimes following God He may ask you to do something and you don't see any fruits from it for like 2 or 3 years. Another thing is, you know, I feel like right now, since we're in such like a first off, inflation is crazy, right? Inflation is crazy high right now. And actually, inflation is so America has been steadily inclining in inflation since 1980s, right? So for anyone who was born in the 80s up, like we've actually never seen a break, right? Every year it's actually gotten harder for us to like, sustain ourselves. To where you kind of have to be extremely rich just to be regular, or well, the regular American dream type. And we're gonna talk about the American dream too, because I have something else to say about that. But you know, and so what was I dang, what was I saying before that? But yeah, okay, steady inflation since the 80s. It's crazy. Um, yeah, and so just living has, actually gotten harder. So we're in such like a short time frame, because everyone's just trying to pay bills, like everyone's just wants to live monthly, that sometimes if God tells us to do something and we don't see that benefit that same day or that same week or that same month, we can get discouraged. But really following God is like saying, the outcome of whatever he's telling me to do is in his control. Like I have no control over what this outcome is going to be, and it's okay. Because God told me to do this. And you know, his his vision of the world is so much better than whatever my small brain, even if I'm smart, like can even figure out. So and I say that to say because there's been tons of instances in my life where I feel like I've done something like God has me do, and it just seems so crazy and just out of this world, and I don't even see any benefit from it. But then like 2 3 years down the line, something that will come back, and it's just like wow. you know it's just like what. Or you get that knock on the door, that email, and it's just like wow, I follow God to the point where I'm prepared for this opportunity that's just knocking on my door, but you have to really just be close enough to hear those instances. So when God tells you, oh, this is your time, the time is now, like the time to be is right now, like you're ready to do that. So, you know, it really just takes a level of humility and not wanting to be in control of your life, and just looking for those instances where God is telling you, nudging you, urging you to do something. And I feel like every day, if you take those little steps to like hear God's voice and hear what He's telling you to do, like you'll see so much just huge, amazing effects from just those little steps. And you really just have to block out, sometimes you have to block out family and friends and things that they're saying to you, and giving you those seeds, pouring in those seeds of doubt, because sometimes you may not see what the fruits of your labor, quickly. Like um with my fashion business, like I've been working on designing for probably about 10 years now, and I won't say it's been easy. But when you follow God in those instances, he'll give you just enough for you to keep going, for you to just keep saying, okay, well, my business may not be as big as I would like it to be right now, but I see these little progresses in the steps, and I feel like God's still telling me to do this, and God's still wanting me to, go after these goals. So I'm just gonna keep pushing, so God will sometimes just give you just enough success for you to keep going in a certain thing so that you know that it was his voice. And so I think when you follow him close enough, like in the end, you'll just be, just so surprised at, how far you've came and what you've been able to accomplish. Yeah. Let's see, another analogy about following God. um, Following God, it can really look crazy to a lot of people, because even it may cause you to leave a group or an organization that was actually wonderful. It may cause you to leave a town or a city that you actually enjoy, or it may cause you to quit a certain talent of yours that you really like, but it's just not the time for it then. And so over the years, I've seen how, God will tell me to pick up one thing, you know, go study this, go learn this, go play this, um, diversify, do other things, and you may not see those benefits until later on in your life and stuff like that. But and then one other thing I want to talk about, what was I going to say? The American dream. Yes, I want to talk about the American dream because I feel like I'm a millennial. I don't know about a lot of you guys out there, but um as a millennial and even as, older people than us, I think we kind of really got bombarded with the American dream early, which is, we just wanted this life of stability. We wanted the house, the car, the dream marriage, the dream, the dream career and all of that, especially if you've gone to college, that you really had that programming. Um, but I think we really need to stop looking at life in the terms of like worldly dreams. But if you put like God's dreams, like look at it like I don't want the American dream for my life. I want God's dream for my life, you know? And when you look at life like that, and when you just give up control and just let God lead you every single day in the activities and the things that you're doing, it's just like your life will just be amazing. After a while, it's just like, wow, this is what God wants for my life, Whereas of what you would kind of want for your life, it may just be something way lower than what God's dream is. Because, God's dream may have you, be backpacking across the world. God's dream may have you, give up on a house and live in a van for 3 months. And you really have to just go with God's dream because you never know where that may lead. You can't be so tied down to worldly possessions that's all you see or that's all you think the goal is because yeah, being comfortable, being stable is nice, but God may have you traveling the whole world for years. And you wouldn't see all of that if you just are so confined to what your vision or what America's vision is for your life. So really just giving up your dreams for God's dreams and God's visions for your life. And you never know where you'll end up, you know? Um, was there one more thing I wanted to say? Um, I gotta get this chat going. I don't even know how this stuff works, but I'm working on it. um, yeah, man, just follow God as much as you can. Um, you know, at this point in my life, I feel like I'm coming on to some really amazing blessings that I would never have seen. Um, but I know I'm prepared because, I've stepped so closely with God to where it's not huge for me. Like it's just that next little step that God has taken me, and so you really have to just work with him. And, you know, there are times in my life when I feel like I was upset with God, like relationship with God, you can be upset with him. You can talk back and stuff like this and be like, why is this happening to me? Why is this going on? Like you can talk to God. Like, don't just think he's just like some big person up in the sky. Like we are entering the end times. Like God is near. You have not noticed because it's just if you see when you see destruction, like just know like God is so close to earth right now. So it's so much easier to talk to him. Um but I remember times when, I was upset with God. Like when I was a teacher, I had a roommate who was a teacher as well. I was in my early 20s, like 21, and she had passed away from fibroids, but it happened so suddenly. She was 28 years old, and dealing with my roommate dying, like I was so distraught. Like I was upset with God for a minute. And I just followed my own path for a few years. And when you stray away, sometimes God can remove his hand from your life and you have no protection anymore, And so I've been in life without protection and it's not fun. You feel like literally running in place, walking in place, or actually going backwards with your life, Um, and when you're out of step with God, it's like a force, right? It's like you're forcefully climbing up. It's like it's very hard, But when you follow God, that's when it becomes easy. That's when the path is sweet. It's peaceful. Like it's very peaceful. Your life is just even when like 'Cause also following God, and this is where I wanna go though, 'cause there's so many analogies I can use, but following God, it's like your life is it's like a peaceful bubble, and you could have like 100 enemies trying to attack you from every side, and you don't feel a thing because God's peace is so within you to where nothing is blocking this force field of peace that you have with yourself and the creator that's up there, you know? So even if you've got just you're in just this thunderstorm and whirlwind, if you actually follow God, it will not touch you. It will not harm you. Nothing bad will happen to you. And you'll just, you know, you'll be able to walk out of that storm with like one band-aid. And you'll be able to live to tell it, but when you're out of God's will for your life, it's just so much hard. It's hard. It's like even the success that you do have, it's like you pulled nail and teeth to get to that place, and even the financial freedom that you do have, it's like you can't even enjoy it when you do have it, so it's so much easier to just wait for God's blessings for your life, even if it takes years. Like, you know what? Like some people are just so they want fame so bad or they want recognition so bad that they don't even when they get it, now that they've fought tooth and nail, they can't enjoy it, but when you get things with God, it's just easy. It's a blessing. So it doesn't harm your life and you have peace with it and you're ready for it as well. Even like, fame and all of that. Like, it shouldn't be this hard nail and tooth, and you shouldn't be suffering when you have it. Like, it should be a blessing, and you should be able to handle it. And it should bless other people's lives as well. So, you know, I rather have the stuff that God wants me to have, right? And even if He doesn't want me to have anything at the time, whatever. The fact that I just have that peace, in my bubble, that's all I need. And I think my mom really showed me this, in her life. Like, it don't matter what she is going through, she is having a good day. She is having like for breakfast, lunch, dinner, she'll be having like her spread out, and just peacefully eating, and she gets ready at like 7, 8 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning every single day. It's like whatever's going on. My mom has always just had that peace with God. And so I've seen it through her. And like I know it's real. It's real, so yeah, I said all that to say, I hope you guys choose to follow God closely or more closely in your life, those little nudges of things that He's telling you to do. Like today, He told me to get on and talk about this. I hope it blessed somebody today. And yeah, I hope this helps you in your life. Yeah, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.